Okay. And I want to people to understand that the attitude and the spirit of the Diotrephes of Kim Burrell, I do not condone. I had to do a video on this, and yes, there are videos coming up. But the reason why I'm gonna let y'all know, and I haven't did other videos yet y'all want me to do, is because there's two videos that are very important to me that I want to be on my channel, and it's taking a hell lot of me cussing, taking a lot of job on trying to upload them. Okay, but let's get back to the subject. Kim Burrell made headlines where she was talking about Ed Long, which I have right to criticize, yes, and I'm glad we are criticizing Ed Long. But she started saying the gays in 2017 about going to hell, and she was screaming it loud and with the Diotrephes, female version of the Diotrephes position. And if she knows her Bible, and those who want to attack me, they all claim they know their Bible, they'll know that the Diotrephes was kicked out in the first church. Actually, I belong to the first church. I'm belong to Protestants, no offense. St. John talked about him being kicked out in the third book. Okay, thank you. 9 and 10. Okay, so when you trying to dominate people, you deserve to get kicked out and get strong. Okay, thank you. So what happened is that she said about gays and lesbians are going to, and like everybody's saying this, they made her, which is very true. And I do agree that same-sex gentle acts between two people of the same sex is wrong. But let's not forget, God don't have favorites. Remember that's in the Bible too, in Romans, and I think in James as well. No partiality in God, and Acts as well. And so there are other sins that 19-year-old members are probably committing, besides probably being on a DL committing homosexual acts. Same genital acts, the penis, vagina, going, thank you, doing something with that when you're the same, thank you. Before you throw a stone, sweetheart, you're not even supposed to be teaching as a woman. I'm glad, no offense, I'm glad I'm not in the Protestant faith. No offense to, and I'm not trying to put Protestant people down, but y'all make your own interpretation of the Bible and try to attack folks who don't go along with it. Let's not forget people that store scripture on destruction. St. Peter talks about that in the Bible too. And so the personal interpretation is not a prophecy. That's what Luther did in the 1500s. Know your church history before you start attacking and calling us a whore of Babylon when actually we are the bride of Christ. Now, I ain't the perfect one. I ain't been in the church in a long time because the people who don't represent the bride here in the Houston area. Yes, and trust me, I wish Pope Francis was excommunicating many priests trying to imitate y'all's behavior because I'm an ex-Protestant, so I know. So let's get to the subject. And finally, me and Kim are both from Houston. You sit here was condemning people to hell and acting like that once saved, always saved when, Jesus, when he said about Nicodemus, that meant blood and spirit and water is baptism born again. Also, he said that in Matthew 7, I ain't perfect, but I know this, that Lord and Lord does not make you go to heaven. St. Paul said, working in my salvation through fear and trembling in Philippians chapter 2. I didn't see none of that in your actions in condemning. Y'all love to go to the Old Testament and take out pieces. There were 3 laws, one moral, one ceremonial, and one for political in the Old Testament. And Jesus got rid of the ceremonial laws, and we don't have to follow the political laws in the Old Testament. Only the moral, but he also showed mercy and guidance. He also died on the cross so we will not be condemned, not only internally, but also on earth. You love to go to the Old Testament, talk about how God destroyed people and this and that. Lucky y'all not destroyed in his word too and make your own interpretation of the Bible. Read 2 Peter chapter 1 and also 3. You are so guilty of that. Point is, you sit here and talk about how you holy in doubt. You didn't read chapter 6 of Luke. I'm not perfect of that. Don't get wrong. I don't always forgive people. But you sit here, condemn people, and judge them. And you will be judged and condemned when you do that. Says the Lord, Jesus Christ. Chapter 6 of Luke, 27 to 31. And by the end of that 31st verse, Condemn, I think, third verse, one of those verses, you're condemning. So when you say someone going to hell, yes, there is a hell. And Deuteronomy talks about that God gives us free will, right? Blessing or curse, choose life. Choose the blessing. So that letting you know that you give us free will. I'm talking about God gives free will, not you. But you want to play Diotrephes, king of Gentiles, on your stage, trying to be queen of Gentiles that Jesus told folks not to lord over like them, talking about his apostles, the founders of his church, besides him, particularly St. Peter, who carried the keys. Isaiah 22. 15:22, the same keys as in Matthew 16 that he brought to Rome in 1 Peter chapter 5:13. And brought his bride, the church, the Ephesians, the same part of it. Thank you. Before you start talking all that lip, Miss Kim, you also know you ain't supposed to correct people who don't want to be corrected. 15th chapter of Proverbs 12 talks about that, and also I'll mention it in all my video. Proverbs 9, yeah, chapter 9, verse 7-9. You don't correct those who don't want to be corrected unless you want to be insulted. So you're getting exactly what you're getting. Also, I forgot what chapter the Pauline letters about people trying to preach a rivalry. You was preaching the gospel out of rivalry, not a love. Love is not Christian rule injury that Paul said in chapter 13. Is that 1 Corinthians? 4-6 talk about love is not rude and cruel. And every time people say I love you but be cruel, I know doggone well they're of the devil. I know by their fruit. I knew there's a child and he used to tell me, try to blind me with interpretation. But I questioned it. Because it said test everything hope was good in Thessalonians. So you come here condemning people, acting like the queen of Gentiles, shall I say. And Isaiah, where was it? The brooding, being brutal with people in the fourth chapter of Ezekiel. The 1st to the 4th verses. I know you, girlfriend. You're not of the Lord, baby. I'm not the perfect one to know that. And you won't call me judging. I know him by your fruit, by your actions. I don't know your spirit. Before you start saying, I love. And to those who got surprised, that's why I left fundamentalism. Because yeah, in Catholic churches, that does happen. But we know that it's not supposed to be Christ-like. Okay? If you read the scriptures and the sacred tradition that St. Paul defends in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 14-15, that's not of the Lord to be acting like that. The scandals are that's not of the Lord, so those are human beings acting a fool. Read 13 of Matthew.